Karungo Thang'wa, the senator for Kiambu County. We had invited him and told him, please arrive at 6:30. He translated that to being 7:30. It was wrong. It was 6:30. Karibu Karungo.
Good morning, Eric.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Good morning, Mariam.
Good morning.
Yeah, sorry. First of all, I need to take this chance to say, apologize for coming late, but owing to the fact of what happened yesterday, there is so much that was happening at night. And you know, it is something that we have never witnessed. So I've actually come from Wamunyoro this morning. I left very early in the morning, earlier than I was expecting.
Okay.
But Thika Road being Thika Road, here I am. I've even arrived through a boda. So I have now experienced even what other people experience. So I know what to do next when I'm invited.
Okay.
Thank you.
So.
What was happening overnight in Wamunyoro?
Overnight, you know, maybe before we go to the overnight, let me start from the beginning, because I attended the church in Othaya yesterday morning. I came from Nairobi, others left from Nyeri, and we met at the church. Actually, the People's Deputy President arrived there earlier than us. So when we got to church, on my way to church, I found on the road the truck, the P address truck that was announcing to the people in the area that Rigathi Gachagua will be addressing people at Othaya Shopping Center, Othaya Town, had been attacked. And I saw the driver on the road, by the roadside, bleeding. And immediately I could not stop at that particular time, but after just a minute or so, I stopped and asked people, what is happening over there? They said, those are the police. They have tear-gassed this guy. They have tear-gassed this truck. The windscreen of that vehicle were all down. So I was like, something is amiss here. So before I could even go back just to save the driver, we saw the police vehicle coming our direction. So we had to rush. And when we rushed, we went to church. It is me, actually, after getting into church, which was already starting, I informed Rigathi Gachagua, something is not right outside. There are police officers, and they're just throwing tear gases and shooting at people indiscriminately. So, and people started rushing out, our security, to find out what is happening. Because why would you tear gas a truck that is just telling people or announcing to the people there? So immediately people became alert. But we were like, I mean, nobody would come and attack a church. So we continued, the church continued. And after 5 minutes, that's when the same people who had a police Land Cruiser, a Nissan Matatu by, I think, a circle called Namu Shuttle, they came. You see, this kind of information, we are getting to know it later. Because when we are in church, we can only tell it's tear gas because we are smelling it. We can only tell it's tear gas because our eyes are hurting. And you know, there's commotion in church. But Eric, I want to tell you this, because there's a narrative that is being given out there that probably it is a setup, or probably it is us
it's
who are doing
planned.
these things. It's planned. But let me tell you something, Eric, because I've never been in such a situation. And I don't want anybody to even think in that line. Because if I was to paint a picture of what happened yesterday, because first of all, the ACK church in Othaya town is a small church. It has a small half floor up there where the children were. And there were so many children. And it has 3 doors. And 2 doors, they are pointing towards the gate where the bullets and the tear gas canisters were being thrown to. The other one is a small one that I think goes to in Catholic we call it the San Christ. So I don't know, I mean, it's a small door.
It's called a vestry.
A vestry,
in
yes,
Anglican
that one.
church.
So that was the only door that we could use. So these people knew that. It's like they had come to the church before. So they had marked those 2 doors. There are one in the main door and the one in the small door at the vestry. So that's why we were locked in church. And everybody was in church. The children were in church. And Eric, I want to tell you this because maybe you'll be the one who will be given an opportunity to say how much you know me in a funeral or something. We saw it yesterday. And probably in 2008, when the Kiambu church massacre happened, there were no survivors. There's no one to explain what happened. We can only imagine how a mother and a child were being banned, hugging each other, crying to death. But yesterday we saw it, because they first locked the doors, they put the tear gas in every door, and the children were there crying. So the next thing was fire. And they had already started the fire by burning the vehicles. So even if you're blaming Rigathi Gachagua of planning this, he cannot plan to be part of it inside the church where everybody is, and the fire is coming from outside, the bullets are coming from outside, and the bullet.
You're saying they locked the doors?
They locked the doors.
Who's they here?
Yeah.
The people who are coming, we're saying they're rogue police, because those who are not the normal goons that people say the goons. Because they had the protection of police officers. They had a Land Cruiser, which is a GK vehicle. And from the newspaper, it is your newspaper, has reported, they interviewed one of the police officers who declined to be named and said how they plan. Eric, I want to tell you this. Some of our members who will be doing police reports or reporting to IPOA, because we don't believe the National Police would investigate itself. We don't believe Murkomen, the CS for Interior, will investigate himself. Some of our members of parliament were receiving messages, threats, because of what you did to me in Karatina yesterday, leo mutakipata. There are those messages. They're not WhatsApps. I'm talking about SMS. So meaning Safaricom has it, you know? So we knew, but we never thought anybody in their sane mind would want to do that. So Eric, I'm telling you, we experienced the reenacted scenario of Kiambu Church. The only good thing is nobody died, you know? Nobody, you know.
Did anybody suffer serious bodily harm?
Of course, there were so many people. And you know what happened, Eric? Because they came twice. I think they ran out of bullets and they ran out of tear gas canisters. So when they left, that is the opportunity we got to evacuate people and for us to run for our dear lives. So what happens is that after they retreated, the people said, Wameenda, Tokeni. So we left the church, and people in the church, you can see from the videos, helter-skelter. So the only person who was left in the church was Rigathi Gachagua and his security detail. For us, we had to run and find out, as we evacuate people, and find out the route where he gonna go. So after we found out, we came back and we told him, we have found where you can get out of this place, because these people were determined. Because you cannot say you're courageous enough to face a man who has a bullet. You know, you cannot say that, why did you run? First of all, you look for safety.
Yeah.
Then you face those people. And Eric and Mariam, let me tell you, these are known people. They are given by names. These are the police, the battalion was led by the police detail or the police guard by for the women rep for Moranga and Betemaina. They are known, because you would understand, we are in Othaya. You are attached to a member of parliament. What are you doing in Nyeri County? Your work is to be with that member of parliament, and you're there. Then how come your husband is the one who is sending messages and telling us tutakiona?
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say, Eric, is that politics aside, let's face this thing and look at it as a reality that this Kenya, President Ruto, is using the Mount Kenya members of parliament. And I heard you ask here, I was coming before I got into Aboda, that's when I lost you. But when I was in the car, I could listen to you. You're asking, why Rigathi and why Mount Kenya?
Yeah, and why church?
And why church?
Because on Saturday, Rigathi was in Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Where was he on Saturday?
Let me ask you why, let me tell you why church.
No, first of all, for context.
Yeah.
Did Rigathi have any public engagement on Saturday?
Yes.
The day before yesterday. Where?
Before yesterday, that was Karatina,
In
and
Karatina.
that was Kirinyaga.
And
Kagumo.
In Kagumo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Was there such incident?
Let me tell you the reason why they are unable to attack us outside when we have public rallies. Because of the public. There's so many people out there that gonna overwhelm them. These are 15 police officers, rogue police officers, led by those two guys I'm talking about. And they cannot attack a public rally because we are in thousands. We are in thousands. And we could see it. And the people outside there, they can face them. They're not afraid of anything. But when it comes to church, it is an enclosed place. We are all in church. We are all looking at the altar. We are all listening to the word. And the only people that we have outside there is a few.
So you're
security
sitting
detail.
ducks.
That is a place whereby we do not have so many people with us. So that's why they can do the church. And point number 2, why the church? They want to create fear within the church fraternity. So that when you hear Gachagua is coming, you say, don't come to my church. Because they know when we go to church, and of course you get an opportunity. Because these people, like myself, I have an opportunity to speak in parliament. Rigathi Gachagua does not have any other platform unless he is doing all these political rallies and all that. When you go to churches to pray, of course, people want to see you, people want to pray for you, and people want to listen to you. So the church, they want to make sure that there is fear, so that when you hear Rigathi Gachagua is coming, you'll be like, we're going to be tear gassed. And that is exactly what had happened in that church. That church was not full yesterday. That church is always full. But you see, because the member of parliament around there, Mr. Wainaina, and his PA, they had already said, Rigathi Gachagua is coming tomorrow and he's planning to tear gas himself. I mean, how would you even know as a member of parliament that whatever this thing is happening? So the people, the worshippers were afraid. So the church was not full. And the reason, another question, why Mount Kenya? Because William Ruto is afraid that Mount Kenya is gone. And Rigathi Gachagua is mostly in Mount Kenya. But this is not only Mount Kenya. He was attacked in Narok. And the same names that we are mentioning are the same battalion of police that were led by the same 2 people that attacked him in Narok. He was attacked in Kakamega when he was going to campaign for the DCP candidate in Kakamega. So you can see the place is not where. The place is who and why Rigathi Gachagua. It's because they know Rigathi Gachagua is being listened to by everybody in this country, and they don't want him to speak.
So how does it serve them, whoever this is, to do this to Rigathi Gachagua? He gets more publicity. I mean, isn't it an
to further
obvious thing?
alienate him. And also, if you're saying, this is, William Ruto thinks the mountain is gone. He has been on a charm offensive in Mount Kenya.
He was there last week.
Yeah.
He still has time to go back there.
Let me mention this. Exactly the point. Your question is exactly the point. Like, who is the beneficiary of all this? They want to send that narrative outside there. Because, let me tell you, if Rigathi Gachagua was to attack himself, I mean, only a fool would hurt people, the people that you're saying that you're fighting for. You cannot harm your vehicles. And those police officers, let me tell you, because my car was not attacked, at least this time. It has been attacked severally. And we don't shout about it because we don't want our people see what we go through. As a leader, sometimes you have to face it yourself. But yesterday, because it brought pain to women and children, that's why we are actually speaking about it louder. What they're doing, and that is a question we ask ourselves, why are you doing this thing? Who is doing this thing? But remember, the most places we get attacked are places where the members of parliament have lost ground. And they know the moment we get there, we're going to call them out. That is something that you want to understand. We were attacked in Limuru. That is the first time we were attacked in 2024, November. I was there. It was a funeral. Okay? We were attacked. We didn't actually know. But the moment you realize there's no police officers, they had withdrawn Rigathi Gachagua's security detail. But for us, we are okay. But they attacked us during that time.
Okay.
We were attacked in Gatondo South. Last Sunday, we were there. That is Kiambu County. And before we were attacked, Moses Kuria, the president's advisor, President Ruto's, is not former. He never resigned. So he's still advising the president. He said on his tweets, tomorrow try. He used to send, if I can, would you want to read something?
Yeah.
You do want to read something? Let me tell you something. This is something that I want to show you. Is Moses Kuria here? But don't read those bad words.
The tweets are public. We're going to look at.
Just read one message.
This is from him to you.
Yes.
This is a name you have saved here as Moses Kuria.
Yes.
I'll check the number.
Yeah.
You have saved this name as Moses Kuria.
That is after the Muranga, after the funeral of the Muranga, of mother to Gakuya, the member of parliament. Yes, Bazoo.
Nitaongeza, do a single meeting with him, mtajua mimi ni nani, nasikia mko Karatina, don't dare. Kiratina, right? Don't dare. And before that, I am ungovernable, I will deal with you, Karungo.
Yes. Now, we are receiving these messages. Check the number. Give Mariam to check the number. Check the number. What I'm trying to tell you, these people, the intolerance, I'm looking for the right word, the impunity that they have, and they're protected by the president. Because if this is happening, that's a number. Yes. If this is happening, and it's happening to us, and they're telling us through the SMSs. And that's why, by the way, you have seen me now in media. I've been in media here too. You know, I haven't been here before. But now we have said we have to tell the people what is happening.
Senator, we're going to take a break and come back. But we've got very many questions. Now, we've given you just a few minutes so that you can explain from your point of view, from your experience on the ground, what was happening. Now, all these questions that have been there in the public, we will try and answer them, all right?
Okay, I'm here.
Karungo Thang'wa is the senator for Kiambu County. He was in that church yesterday in Wetima, Othaya, where there was an attack. There was tear gas. There was, suffering of people who had gone to worship. And then there was tear gas in this particular church. And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was present. And he also released a statement saying this was an assassination attempt. The National Police Service has responded. We look at their message. We look at the message from the Interior Cabinet Secretary and what he said about this particular incident, and also say, how do we get to the bottom of this? In the end, Karungo, we don't care about you. We care about us. All right? Yeah. We as Kenyans. Yeah. That young child, boy, girl, mother, elderly person who always goes to the Wetima ACK church, who went yesterday and was tear gassed in church, we are asking questions on her behalf.
Please.
We'll be back in a moment. It's coming up to 8 a.m. We're continuing our conversation with Karungo Thang'wa, the senator for Kiambu County, with this issue of is it rogue police officers who planned an attack on Gachagua? Gachagua himself saying that this was organized by political players as well, using state machinery in the name of police officers. Same thing has been said here by the Senator Karungo Thang'wa. The police service responded yesterday, and you will read for us what the police service said. The questions here are, what exactly is this that's going on? You know, it should not really matter who's organizing it. The thing is, it should not be organized, and the people who organize it should not get away with it. Right? We're talking about these incidences happening, over time, and in churches, it's becoming normal. So this is one church in Wetima yesterday. There was Gatondo South 2 weeks ago. There was
PCA in Kasarani.
PCA in Kasarani. There is Kariobangi North last year. There was Kagio in Kirinyaga earlier this month. Tear gas deployed, motorcade that's en route to a rally, tear gassed and disrupted. Especially when it comes to these places of worship. And then you're seeing it's goons coming and police seeming to come to respond to this, and they also participate in it. Very many questions have got to be asked. And the senior person who needs to answer this question is the one that we pay to provide security. The Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja.
Right.
His spokesman released a statement. What is it saying?
Okay. The disruption of a church service at St. Peter's ACK in Wetima in Nyeri County. So the National Police Service has taken note of the deeply regrettable incident that took place. Now, police reports indicate that as the church service was underway, a tear gas canister is said to have been thrown inside the building, disrupting the proceedings. There are also reports of several vehicles being damaged. The regional police commander for Central immediately directed Nyeri Criminal Investigations Officer to move in quickly and secure the scene and commence investigations. The IG, having been made aware of the incident, has directed the Internal Affairs Unit to move with speed and commence investigations with the deserved urgency. There were no reports of injuries. The nature of this incident is totally unacceptable and has no place in this country. He goes on to say that the NPS abhors violence in all its form. Churches are sanctuaries and they have nothing to do with political differences. Further to the investigations already commenced, anyone who may have witnessed the incident is urged to contact the nearest police statement, a law enforcement officer, using this number ile afichwa kwa DCI. As a service, we remain committed to ensuring that all forms of criminality are dealt with firmly, while reaffirming our commitment to the safety and the security of all Kenyans and restating the inviolability of the freedom of worship. That is the spokesperson for the National Police Service, Mushiri Nyaga.
Yeah.
The CS for Interior also released a statement last night saying violence anywhere and least of all in a place of worship is unacceptable. He said he had spoken with the IG, Douglas Kanja, who has assured him that investigations are underway with the urgency this matter deserves and that the perpetrators will be brought to justice. Police must move without fear or favor and deal decisively with the sponsors and perpetrators of this act without regard to their status in society or political affiliation. Government is firmly committed to upholding the tenets of democracy, including the right of lawful assembly and freedom of worship. Yeah, these statements read so valiantly. You know, it's the statement that you expect from the CS, from the police, but it's action that speaks louder than these statements.
Yeah.
This is not the first incident. It's not an isolated incident.
True.
How do you account for the previous incidents? What have you done in the investigations of the past incidences? I mean, these are questions that IG Kanja must personally answer. And this is not the police service. Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, like I say, it's 26th of January. He most likely has received his January salary.
Yeah.
If we have paid him for this month, he must account for the salary we are paying him. This is the job that he ought to do.
Yeah.
If he needs to investigate Karungo or Thang'wa
Yes.
on why he came all the way from Kiambu and he happened to get to Othaya just at the time when the PA vehicle was being gassed, right, and injured. And then he's the one who, according to his own admission, is the one who went to church and alerted the people in the church that there's something happening outside, and he sat inside. Karungo ought to be asked
does.
those questions, and you've got to answer those questions, right?
That's fine. But
All
Eric,
of you must be held to account here.
But Eric, and that's why we are speaking, and we are on TV,
Yeah.
and we are saying it out there. We have even written statements on our official social media handles. But I want you to understand one thing. Just like the attack was so coordinated, even this statement by IG CS Murkomen was also coordinated messaging and coordinated framing. It's because they want people to believe a certain direction. In the statement by IG, he's saying, tear gas. Underline that word.
A tear gas.
Tear gas canister was thrown. Tear gas. We are talking about so many of them that we lost count. But already he's saying one. I mean, why are you shouting? It's only one tear gas canister. You know, we showed the used cartridges, the bullets. We have videos. These people have machine guns or AK-47s, if I may say. We saw them everywhere. And then why is this messaging coming 2 minutes after the women from Muranga tweets the same thing? 3 minutes after the member of parliament for Madeira tweets the same thing, who is the husband of this women rep. Then the IG is talking. Then Murkomen is talking. The only thing they're trying to do by framing this direction this way is to profile the leaders. And that's been the question, that's why you're asking, why was I in Othaya? Surely, Eric. I mean, this is a free country. We can go anywhere. Again, I want to be where Rigathi Gachagua is. And then we all need to show people that we are standing with this man because they want us to isolate him. You remember the member of parliament for Juja?
Yeah.
When he left, he said that I cannot follow him again because he fell for the trap that we need to isolate Rigathi Gachagua so that we can deal with it. So the reason why I went there is because he was in Kiambu for the last 2 Sundays. The first Sunday of the year, we were in Komodhai, that is Githunguri. And in Githunguri, we were not attacked. Actually, the police were there. In Gatundu South, we were attacked after being threatened by Moses Kuria, the MP for the area, and everybody who was on William Ruto's side. So we have to be everywhere that we were. But this begs the question, because they're trying to make us, and that's where we're headed, even from the conversation that we are having. Then why go to church and make sure that, and where these people are going to be tear gassed? Why are you taking yourself to that church? And you see, let me tell you something.
That was actually my next question. Not even why go to the church. Yeah, actually, why do go to the church when you know you are then actively endangering people's lives, right? Because you said the area MP had already said the night before that there's going to be tear gas, right?
Yeah.
So that's already telling you that, you know what, there's going to be a problem here. This is likely going to be infiltrated. Then why does the former DP still attend a church service, essentially putting not just himself, but also all those congregants in danger?
Would we want us to just stay at home and play to the gallery? No. We have
Is
to
endangering
because
people's lives
we are not endangering
the
people's
solution?
life. And it is a sad...
You said live bullets. Yeah, we've seen the images
let me
of
explain.
spent
Let me
cartridges.
explain.
Spent cartridges.
We
We've seen the
wouldn't.
tear gas canisters.
Yeah.
We've seen the glass, all of that. Those are people firing live bullets. How is that not endangering people's lives?
Let me tell you, our lives are also there.
Yes.
We're not metallic.
100%.
Anything can happen also to us. And that's why we are calling out this issue.
True.
And whenever we go, because this is a free country, this is a country of the rule of law, we would expect that every precaution is taken. And we take our own precaution. We take our precaution by getting to know what we have to do when it comes to that part of mayhem and chaos. But the government want us not to go anywhere. Okay? So if we say, and we actually discussed that yesterday, because after what happened and after everybody went to their own direction, Rigathi was missing for some time, but of course nobody knew where he was, but he was also running away and using different routes. We used different routes. I used border, I used a taxi before we got to where we got. And we were discussing this issue and we were like, you see, these things that happen to these people, we need to address it once and for all. We need to stop our meetings for a while. We need to stop this for a while, but address it. And we're going to push it to the extent that the IG himself, and I'm happy that Parliament we are going back to Parliament on 9th of this next month, that is February. Because this is something that we need to discuss and ask ourselves. Because if we do not address this issue, as much as we are saying we are threatening, we are bringing threats to the people, also we are threatened. And actually, Rigathi Gachagua himself, he's the one who wants to be silenced. And it is happening to him because they know if he does not speak, they might, in a way, find a re-election. But because he speaks and he calls it out, because he calls it as it is, he for sure, the people understand who is doing all these things. And that's why we mention name. That's why we mention the car registration numbers.
Right.
That's why we call IG. And I want IG to know and to understand, Mariam, that during the ICC case, which I should say, the ICC case never ended. It was suspended. And we are going also to write to ICC as DCP, as Rigathi Gachagua followers, as Kenyans, to tell ICC now, start looking into this case, because the evidence that you said you lacked then, start collecting it now, because the same players are the same people. This time, they have the police, they have the money, and they're in power. So we are going to write to them and tell them, this is what brought up to the post-election violence in 2007 and 2008, because this is what is going to happen in 2027 if we do not deal with this. But that idea of telling us, to stop, you know, when let me finish with that story. Just one liner.
Okay.
You know Bob Marley, when he was shot, and when he went to the hospital and he got bad injuries or first aid, he went back on stage. And when he was asked, you were shot today, and what are you doing here? You should be in hospital or whatever. He says, I cannot lay in bed or in hospital bed when the shooters are still out there. You know, I have to speak about it. I have to talk about it. That's why for us, we will have to go. We will have to be everywhere we have to be, because we are the same people that we are defending.
You have the freedom of assembly.
Thank
you have every right to be in a church, in a place of worship, in any place in this country. It is a free country. You're absolutely right. But I'm still thinking through. By the time you're saying the area MP was saying there'll be tear gas here.
He said, if I quote,
yes,
through his PA, that we are planning to tear gas ourselves.
Okay.
So since we knew we are not planning that, we don't even have tear gas. I don't know. It's never sold anywhere within our reach. We don't have AK-47. And then we thought they were bluffing. You know, sometimes you are like, we have to go. They're
Right.
saying we are going to tear gas ourselves. And since we know we are not going to tear gas ourselves, let's wait
Okay.
until...
Did you make a report to any police station that, you know what, there's something fishy at play here? Yeah. These people are claiming we are planning to tear gas ourselves. It could be just a ploy for them to come and tear gas us.
But just in case.
Just in case. Here, just have this report on file that...
And investigate.
Yes. The threats that you've talked about, again, have you made reports? After yesterday's incident, is there an OB number somewhere at Othaya police station, speaking of what transpired yesterday?
What happened yesterday, the first thing that came to our mind was to run for safety, to secure the people's deputy president, to make sure he's safe. Because we went to a different direction. For us, we found ourselves in Nyeri town. For him, he went straight home to his Wamunyoro home. So by the time we got to know where he is, we had not done anything. Point number 2, why report to the same police who are behind this issue? The only thing we can do is to report to IPOA. And reporting to IPOA, we couldn't have done it yesterday. Remember, in 2024, that is the November of 2024, when the same thing happened, the chaos, the attack happened, instead of arresting the perpetrators that are known, they came for us. We who were attacked, they came for us. They arrested me. They looked for me over the weekend. They even told me to report in Nyeri County. That is the DCI headquarters in Central Province, if you can say that. And the event happened in Nyeri. Even right now, and I'm telling you, maybe they're even waiting for me outside here because they're profiling us. That's why they were saying it is the canisters that we created the same mayhem. Probably they are waiting for me here to also arrest me, and I'm not afraid. And that is the same thing, Eric. Eric, you called me here. Would you want me to stay at home? You know, I'm late for only 20 minutes and you're making noise. Would you want me to stay at home because I know when I come here, they're going to arrest me? I come, they arrest me. They do what they have to do. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to call this. Forget the politician. Forget... You know, let's not look at it in an issue of this is because of this. We have to look at the perpetrators, and they are known. There are images, there are videos, there are photos.
We need to separate it from the politics.
We also need the church to speak. Because you see, what they're trying to do is to make sure that the church doesn't invite us.
Actually,
I'll be going to church.
Now that you've brought up the church, Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit of the prelate of the Anglican Church of Kenya has on several occasions said that this church, the Anglican Church, one, will not take these donations from people who don't come and account for where the money is coming from, and two, will not give the pulpit to politicians. All right? Now, Archbishop Ole Sapit, there's a circumvention of this direction and a directive, and also some game being played here, that these politicians may come to church, they may not get the pulpit to speak, but they will speak outside of the church. The president was in an ACK church last week, in same Othaya. Rigathi Gachagua was in ACK church in Othaya again yesterday. He likely would have been given an opportunity to address the congregation, whether inside the church
outside,
or right outside of the church. All right? So Archbishop Ole Sapit, maybe you need to revisit your directions that you've given to your clergy on what and how to deal with their congregants who are also doubling up as politicians and how this happens. Now, the IG of police, of course, has got very many questions to answer. And I'm laying it on him because he's the one that we've given the job, so that he and his officers get to the bottom of this. If there are police officers who are involved in this, who gave them the orders? If the orders did not come from the proper command structure of the National Police Service, then those officers should be interdicted immediately and action should be taken on them. If he cannot do that, the IG of police, then he does not deserve to be in that office, he should leave. But also at the same time, he must also get that support from the public, that you do your job without fear or favor of whoever you will arrest. Because the question you asked earlier, Mariam, in fact, one of our fixers was asking, who stands to benefit from this? If you look at what has been happening, it's if we go by the senator's view of it, it's the government is afraid of the ground that it has lost, supposedly, in Mount Kenya. And so they want to take the person who appears to be leading this ground away from the government to victimize him and to silence him, right? How does the government benefit by silencing him? Has it silenced him?
No.
Everybody Today, he's talking about Rigathi Gachagua. In fact, he has grabbed the headlines from yesterday.
Yep.
That's not silencing the man.
It's almost martyrdom.
It's giving him a lot of publicity. Unless the plan is to create this kind of also have emotion that people are being tear gassed in church.
Yeah.
It goes, unfortunately, into harm, death, serious injury, and then that gives an excuse to arrest people like Karungo, Thang'wa, and others, because now, I mean, these are the ones who are responsible, so to speak, unless that's the route.
Right.
And the other one would also question yourself, the person who's benefiting from this is Gachagua and the publicity he's getting.
I mean,
He is getting the publicity. Now you've got to put it there. We can't run away from it. Let me point the picture.
Yeah.
He's a former
Last
DP
weekend,
who's on the headlines every day.
the headlines on Rigathi Gachagua were he's losing ground. MPs who are initially affiliating themselves with him are walking back, right? The headline of the Sunday Nation last week was that, is Gachagua losing ground? Gachagua was somewhere in Kilifi. In fact, his own deputy was not with him in Kilifi. We had to.
And now the questions were,
we had to see
what's
an
happening?
entire publicity around, Cleopa Malala going to Kilifi and sitting down in Rigathi Gachagua, and since then them being together. And now today we have turned that entire headline into Rigathi Gachagua. Whether he was losing the people, he actually is a victim here.
He's being persecuted.
He is getting publicity. We cannot run away, Karungo, from that angle of the story.
You know, you, Eric, and Mariam, and myself, we are all journalists. And we know that when a dog bites a man, that is not news. But when a man bites a dog, that is news. All this is printed by the news items. They were there, the journalists were there. Actually, there's one journalist who wanted to interview me because we used the Panya route together with the journalist, only to find out his cameraman is not there. He's only having a microphone. So he could have interviewed me somewhere in the middle of coffee plantation.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say, and I thank the media for capturing this, for people to understand what is happening, because probably if it was not captured, people might think that now this is a creation. The media was not safe. The people in the church were not. We were not safe. So whether you say it is bringing him up there, it's a question that we need to ask the other people before we even get there, because that is something that we do not want to ride on, because that is the narrative that is being given out there. We need to ask ourselves, yes, if for sure it is him, arrest those people. We can see them. Then they will say, I was sent by Rigiji, I was sent by this. In Gatondo South, when the citizen did the citizen arrest or cornered some of these goons, some of them said, I come from Kiambu. I was told that I got into this vehicle, we go and do this and this and that. The same thing, because they can see us. Even if it is me, they think it's me. And then call me, tell me, But for us, we go to IPOA because, let me tell you, Mariam, is that they might think they have the power. They might think they have the police. But power is transient. It changes hands. And those cases that we have, it must go into conclusion. Whether by 2027 or by 2032, those people must be brought to book. Because even if you want to do harm to yourself, you don't bring yourself to such kind of harm that is threatening the people that you are praying with, the people that you are worshiping with. And so again, for us, because we also have families, and they tell us, are you okay? Are you safe? Are you there? The people of Kiambu yesterday, they were calling me all over, telling me, are you okay? So the issue is, let's first of all, before we even ask our questions, who is behind this? Are they planning this against themselves? First of all, arrest that man. We have said he's on photos. The images are there. Your cameras are showing over there. If they're showing,
true.
Yeah. So
And
first of all, arrest them.
Yes.
Even if you think it is us, even if you think it is Rigathi Gachagua.
That's the
but of course, it is not.
So we have to go on a short break in a short time, but there's so many comments from our fixers, so many questions. There was a question on why Rigathi Gachagua was the last person to be evacuated from this church.
Because he cannot run and live behind the people. He is a man who is fighting for the people. He must make sure that people are safe first. So that's why we had, for example, for us, he told us, make sure that everyone is fine. Make sure that we know where to run to. When the doors were open, when the police retreated to go and bring more bullets and more tear gas, we broke the doors open. And then the people are told, get out.
The other way to think about it is, if these people are coming after Rigathi Gachagua, then it is easier for him to remove himself, right?
So that he can be shot outside.
No.
So that he can be killed at that particular time.
To remove
we
the
have
danger
to make sure
from
it is safe. It's
people.
not. Gachagua is not the danger.
I know.
The danger is outside.
Yes, but
You know?
lead away the danger.
No.
Here's the thing.
That is what they
And
want you to think.
that's why I'm asking
He
again
came
why
in
you
there.
didn't call off this church service. If you
you
know that
cannot-
essentially your presence is going to put people's lives in danger.
You know,
Then you either
see,
remove
it
your
was not an
presence
engagement.
or you don't show
It
up.
was not an engagement. Shoot two, then I call it off. Throw a tear gas canister. Okay, now wait. I'm calling it off. It was not a negotiation. You know what was happening is it is happening so fast. So the very first thing is safety for everyone. We had to remove the children up there because the children, they were shooting from the windows up there where the children were. We bring them to where we are. Then we lock the door. The security detail were at the door, not locking the door. Already the doors were locked. They stood by the door. The moment we heard that they have retreated, the doors were open. Then everybody get out. But the choir remained. The pastor remained. Rigathi remained. Because for us, we were actually out. They were now telling us...
Why did the choir remain?
Yeah?
Why did the choir remain?
Because that's the choir. The church was still on. The church has not even started.
No, the church was not on.
No,
You're telling us there's already commotion.
You're being
but
tear
I'm
gas.
saying, you know, I'm a Catholic, and so I know once you start the mass, you don't end it. If it was a Catholic church, the priest could not leave the pulpit.
Even
what
when
I'm trying
being
to say,
shot
what
at
I'm trying to tell
or
you,
tear gassed,
no, I mean,
the
yeah,
mass
he's a
does not
martyr.
end.
He died on the altar. Let me tell you something. When all that happened, the choir actually gave us the clothes. You see those robes? Even the pastor, the reverend himself, gave us that so that you leave the church. Eric, you know, I don't know why people are saying that it's a movie.
So the priest instructed the choir to remain as he remained behind.
It is not the priest who instructed. What I'm saying is, you look at the church and how people believe. You know that the people who believe, you know, it's a church. We believe God is in control.
It's all right.
All right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The priest remained.
Yeah.
The choir, the pastor, the choir remained, and Gachagua remained.
Yes.
You're saying the pastor remained because he is the leader of this church. He will be the last one to leave.
Yeah.
All right. The choir remained. I do not understand exactly why the choir remains and not anybody else who remains.
Not all of us.
And I also do not understand why Gachagua also then remains. Because that's what we are saying. Bethel Chumba is saying, Karungo met a vehicle that was being attacked. He went into church to inform Rigathi about what's going on outside. Then they stayed inside the church until the doors were closed by goons from outside. And there was no alert. Kipindi?
No, let me, you know, Eric, as I said, I'm going to say it again and again. Owing to the fact of knowing my background, a former seminarian, always wanted to become a priest. And of course, understanding the scenarios. When you see danger, of course, you need to alert people. You cannot come and just sit down. And the reason why that happened is because you need to say what you have seen outside. Then when you say that, we needed to send people out to find out what is happening outside. Because you wouldn't have thought, you know, if those people, you wouldn't have thought anybody. Eric, even if somebody wants to do harm to you,
yep.
You send a message to them, you send a message to you, Eric utakipata. You know, sometimes you think they're bluffing because nobody on his sane mind, they would do the same thing. So when we are talking about the choir remain, of course not all, but they were there.
Okay.
And they're the one who gave us the choir uniform for some of us to get out of the church because we were the target. The reverend gave us his robe, which is a blessed robe, to one of the security detail of Rigathi Gachagua, for him to go outside and find out what is happening. Because I'm telling you, it was risky. We were taking every precaution. But the reason why they wanted Rigathi out is because that is exactly what they wanted, so that they can deal with him, assassinate him, kill him, shoot him. So And since we did not want any of that scenario, but of course, remember I told you, they had already closed the doors and they were tear gassing the doors. Again, they wanted to buy time so that they can go to the vehicles one at a time. I know one member of parliament's security detail was just standing by the vehicle, taking cover. And he told one of those police officers, "Ata mimi ni police officer, jaribu kuguza hiyo gari." And that's when, from that car to the rest, that's how he got saved, because he was there and they saw each other. And all those are things that I don't want to give those details for now until they record the statements with the IPOA.
Right.
But
Okay.
we have information, we have the images, we have the pictures. And for sure, my mistake was only getting to the church late. The senator for Muranga was way later than me.
Yeah.
But on his
And
way,
you saw what happened.
he found we are being attacked. He did not get into the church. So it is not a matter of what time did you come, what time. The issue is the church was attacked.
Okay.
People were shot at.
Okay, that question has not been answered. Let me ask this other question. You have security details attached to you, right?
Yeah.
You have police officers. Did they accompany you to Nyeri yesterday?
Yes, we have them.
They're there with you
Yes.
everywhere. So there's the senator for Muranga who was also present.
He came way later. Actually, he didn't get to the church because there were
Okay.
promotions.
And
there
the-
were members of parliament. There was Honorable Gogoyo for Jado.
right.
There was one.
So all these members of parliament had security detail.
Yes.
Was the detail inside the church with you?
Some
or
were
outside?
inside, some were outside.
All right.
Yeah.
What did they do? Have they recorded a statement? Have they talked about what they did? So there's an attack here. They are briefed to provide security to you, and there's an attack. What did they do?
So when an attack
did they
happens-
fire when there was firing happening? Did they arrest anyone? Because their job is to provide with security and also to arrest anybody who's
You know,
bringing harm to you.
when
Sorry,
an-
before you answer that,
Yeah.
just hold, let's take a very short break. Very, very brief break. We'll be right back. I know iyo swali ni ngumu. It was a bit of time.
It's not, it's easy.
Sawa basi.
Yeah.
Hashtag is Fixing the Nation NTV. We'll be right back after this short break. Hivo. Back in conversation with Senator for tuko Kiambu ama tuko Nyeri? No, I'm
Kiambu.
kidding. Kiambu. We are with Senator for Kiambu, that is Karungo wa Thang'wa, discussing what was happening yesterday and trying to figure out just who actually is to blame here and how do we keep citizenry safe going forward as we go into 2027.
Yeah. How do we ensure that the citizens are safe? Okay. One of the things that also Karungo, we pay you. You've also received your salary for January.
Maybe.
One of the reasons why we pay you is so that you go to Parliament and in addition to being a senator and protecting matters of devolution, is also ensuring that this country is run properly. How do we ensure that as we head into next election and even beyond, that we don't have such incidences happening?
You know, Eric, it's not even about a matter of payment. It's a matter of service because to some of us, this is a calling and serving the people.
Yeah,
But
we
of
pay you
course
for that
it-
service.
But of course, it comes with that.
Well, that's why we are
remuneration.
holding you to account.
It's okay.
Yeah, because we are paying you for it.
It's the opportunity.
Yes.
Maybe before I even go to that, let's go to the question that you had asked when you were going for a break. And you asked why police officers attached to member of parliament could not shoot at these people. First of all, I need you to understand the bodyguards, as they are called, bodyguards of the members of parliament, their mandate is protection, not combat. And their work is to make sure that that person you're protecting is shielded and is evacuated from a scenario. Because these were not ordinary goons. So attacking police officers, and we know there were police officers, it will be an armed attack against the state. And that is what the president wants. So that we can be told, you know there were police officers. That's why they were openly coming with police vehicles for us to know they are police officers. Because if you shoot at them, if you kill one of them, it is an attack against the state. That is treason, that is terrorism, that is what they want us to do. Or they wanted to achieve. But for us is to make sure we run for safety or we cover for safety. And that's why those people are there. They can only shoot when that is the only option. You're facing danger, this is the person, the gun is here, so it is either me or him. That's the only thing they could do. But for now, what happened? When the attack began, you don't run to the police station to write a statement. You run to the person that you protect.
Yep.
You go so that you shield them, or you tell them because they are trained to know how to get out of this issue. For us, we are not trained.
Yeah.
You only see it in the movies that you lie down, but you don't know whether that is the only option. So they know what you can do. So that is why they never and they will never shoot at the police.
I get you.
Question
Let me ask
number
the
two.
question.
Yes.
Just a follow-up to this. The police detail that's attached to you,
Yes.
to whom do they report?
Of course, they report to the special department, but is of course to the IG.
So there's a reporting structure.
Yes.
There's an immediate supervisor.
Yes.
The expectation, I don't know, I mean, I've never had a bodyguard, but the expectation that I would have is if there's an incident that involves the person that you've been tasked to protect, you will take the next available opportunity to report that incident.
No, the
to
issue
your supervisor.
The issue is not fast to report.
Not fast.
It
I
is
said,
to act.
I said
and
next,
protect and
next
shield and
available
evacuate.
opportunity
Yes.
to report to your supervisor.
Yes.
Okay? Now, more than 10 hours after the incident, after they had taken you to a place that they were now, and you assured them that you feel safe in Wamunyoro, do you know, to the best of your knowledge, whether your security detail has recorded and reported the incident?
You know, it is for us to do that. They come in as witnesses.
Okay.
Yes.
They report to their seniors?
Yes.
If there's a security incident, a police officer is expected, of course, to alert the supervisors. There's an incident.
They give
the job that I was
responsibility.
supposed to do, this is my report.
For the day.
A, B, C, D happened.
So when they say they are going to initiate or conduct investigations, they're the first people, of course, who will be called to write their statement. But of course, it is us who were in danger.
So
Not
you
necessarily.
don't know whether your police detail has reported.
I don't know.
An incident.
I don't know for sure, because that is a police officer. They have the way they discuss. But it is for me to
Have
go
you
and
asked?
report.
Have you asked the police officer whether they have reported the incident?
No, I haven't, because it is me to go and report, which we are going to do.
Would it
to
concern
high
you
power.
if the police officer, if it was not in church yesterday, it was not in the presence of Rigathi Gachagua, you were leaving Nation Media Group this morning, and you were attacked.
Yes.
And your police officer then whisked you to safety.
Yeah.
And then you come to learn a week later that even this police officer never reported such an
No,
incident.
but who was being attacked?
Would it concern you?
No, who was being attacked, me or him?
You.
No, if I'm walking with you, Eric, and I'm being attacked, who go to the police, you or me?
Whose job is it?
No, his job is to protect. I say.
Exactly.
Protection,
you-
shield, evacuate,
You're
cover.
refusing to see my
No.
my
I'm not
line.
refusing.
Yeah.
I'm just
So let
trying
me-
to tell you how it is.
So let me
I am the
let
one
me
who's being
explain my
attacked.
line
I
here.
go to the police.
Let me explain my line
Yeah.
here. You will go to the police to report.
Yeah.
All right? This police officer every day should report to his bosses that they are on duty.
Yeah.
That's expected. I mean, it's
Eric,
logical.
what happened.
Eric, I don't know.
It's logical
I don't
that
know
the
what-
police
I don't
officer
know.
will report that they are on duty.
Yeah.
That the police officer will then report at the end of the day, this is how my day has been.
Eric.
And they will report and file a statement.
Yes.
I am not imputing any improper motive on your part or the police officers guarding you.
Yeah.
All right? It's part of accountability.
Right.
That because this police officer was present, was on the ground, the police officer, being an experienced security person, their statement holds a lot of weight. This is the chronology of events as they happened.
Let me tell you, and I repeat it again. We are fixing the nation. Let
Yes,
me fix
we
it
are.
for you. Let me fix it for you. You're driving. I'm going to give you an example now away from the attackers. You're driving, and a police officer is standing right by the traffic light, and he stops you. He's watching you. He's looking at you. By the time you stop, another vehicle rams into you. Who reports that case? Is it the police officer who saw it happening, or is it you who owns the vehicle? So the police officer can willingly come as a witness. Remember, even these people that are guarding us, they're not our brothers and sisters. They're police officers. They could even be part of what is happening, and we don't know, because they are police officers. You do not expect a police officer to go report a crime on your behalf. What you do is you go report it, then ask him, would you want to be my witness?
You just refused to see
It's
Eric's
not refused.
point.
I want you to understand
You
from
really
my
have.
perspective.
All right.
I am
Have
the
you-
victim.
have you
here,
reported?
Eric. I am the victim. We could not report at night, and then you call me here very early in the
All
morning.
right.
So we still have time, because again, we are asking ourselves.
And you
We
said
have
it's to
reported the
IPOA.
issue. we have reported this issue when we were attacked in Limuru, in Gatundu, in Muranga. Because in Muranga again, that is when Senator Medu and Senator Nyoto were being shot at. We went to IPOA at that particular time, and Hassan, the chairperson, IPOA, listened to us, and he took our details. Nothing has happened. You know, sometimes you ask yourself, is it just to go report? But we are reporting to file them and have these cases because we have to give it to ICC. Because we understand police, the CS, and the IG cannot assist, because what have they done? If they say it is us, why haven't them arrested anyone or stopped us? Because Eric, I like giving analogies. You know, suicide, death by suicide is illegal. If you know somebody is going to kill themselves, you don't sit down and say he's going to kill himself. As a police officer, you arrest that person and you charge them. So you cannot say, oh, it is him who wanted to kill himself. So they know we are going to tear gas ourselves, but they stand and watch. Hold those arrests and come in charge.
We're in agreement.
Yes.
In as far as what we're saying, that the entity that is supposed to give answers to this and past incidences is the National Police Service.
Absolutely.
There cannot be any excuse at all from the National Police Service.
We agree.
They have to give us the answers for this.
Yes.
All right? That they will give us answers. They will rely on the information that they collect from you, from other people who were present in all these incidences, from their own police officers whom were deployed, and those that were in the scene, at the scene when the incident happened.
True.
This includes the person who's been sent to protect Karungo Thang'wa. All right? And that's why I said the statement by the police officer who is attached to Karungo Thang'wa carries a lot of weight.
It will come if they agree to be with
because this is somebody who is trained on security and they're trained on how to report. Right? Unlike you and I, who will report in our own pedestrian way, they have the structure of how to report. That's why I was asking that question, not saying much to it. But then there was the earlier question, moving forward, how do we fix this nation?
That's it.
We cannot continue like this, I'm sorry, until a point where a child dies, or a man or a woman, an elderly, a pastor dies in church just because there's this kind of nonsense that's happening.
My answer, direct answer, we get William Ruto out of power. That is the answer. How to fix this nation. Because it is happening under his watch. Gen Zs were killed under his watch. The attacks are happening under his watch. He is the one who is saying that these things should not happen. I say no to Gunism. And it is happening. The members of parliament who are on his side, because sometimes we're even asking, is the president held hostage by some of these members of parliament? What do they know about him that he doesn't want them to release? Because why would a member of parliament openly and happily threaten us, and we have reported, and nothing has happened? So what we're saying is that for us to fix this is to get even IG out of office. And that is what they want us to cry out and say and shout. But for us, we know the buck stops with the head of state. So if we want to fix this nation, we need to get rid of the leadership that is bringing all this commotion, chaos, and everything to our people. And Eric, you have the name here. We got the work, you know, because we are fixing step by step, because that's why we don't want to keep quiet.
Let me get a bit more granular. 2027 will be the opportunity to either get William Ruto out of office or not. In the meantime, what is Rigathi Gachagua's team, you know, whether it's DCP as a party, whether it's the United Opposition, whatever you want to call it, doing to make sure that supporters, civilians, essentially even yourselves are safer going into 2027. There's a caller coming in. Just hold. Okay, it's all right. Answer that, then we'll get the call after.
Thank you very much for that question. You know, for us, once we understand our role as members of parliament, as the Senate, as the people's representative, you know, one of the core mandate is representation. And representation is being the voice of the people. For us, if we kept quiet, if the media kept quiet, then this country will go to the dogs. So for us, we are saying we are not going to relent. We are going to absolutely move forward. Whatever happens today, happens or happens. Because for us, we might decide to keep quiet to be safer, because you're afraid of William Ruto will kill you. You might keep quiet because you think the policeman will shoot you, and then you keep quiet and you eat like the rest of them, and then after a few days you are hit by a boda going to buy sugar or whatever it is. For us, we have to keep to the mandate, that is protecting our people and talking to our people. As I said, this is an information that we are going to give as members of ally of Rigathi Gachagua, DCP, and the United Opposition. We are going to meet all of us, including His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, Matiang'i, and the others, because we have now to sit down and say this. We have seen it is not actually an attack, per se, an ordinary attack. This is terrorism, because you could see the eyes of those children in that church. Yeah. So we are going to have a meeting and discuss going forward how we're going to approach this. Point number 2, we have called upon the international community to watch. You know, the international community, they're watching. They're here. They have their missions here. We are calling on them to understand these things and to keep an eye on it and to speak as we speak. Because the moment Rigathi Gachagua keeps quiet, just imagine, Eric, if this country didn't have a Rigathi Gachagua. For those who think very shallowly, they would say they could have not tear gas yesterday. But for those who see this nation need to be fixed, they would say, yes, we need this man. He spoke about Northeastern. Today, things are happening in Northeastern. The members of parliament in Northeastern, they have started going back to work for their people. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to continue speaking. We are not going to be afraid, even if they arrest us, even if they do. There will always remain another Karungo or Thang'wa, another Rigathi somewhere. Yeah. And what they're doing, they're just broadening. Because some of us coming from the church, we have never experienced tear gas and seen bullets. Now we see them and we hear them. We're being trained for the hard times ahead of us, but we are saying we're going to go on.
We shall not let it happen.
Yes.
You know, on top of that, Senator, and you're my friend, what do we need to do as citizens to make sure that this doesn't happen as citizens? And there's a reason I'm asking this. I'm moving it away from, yes, we'd like all leadership of the country to talk about these issues and to push for change, but as citizens, because I'm going back into before the last general election, and similar attacks were happening to the then Tanga group, right? There was one such bad incident at a church in Keno, where there was tear gassing, there was fighting outside before the last election. Remember that incident?
Yeah.
And the leaders then of the Tanga said, once we get into government, we shall make sure that these kind of things do not happen.
Right.
And we shall hold those who have done this to account. Of course, they were not held to account. Of course, these things are happening.
Yeah.
All right? So I'm sitting here and I'm feeling that even if the United Opposition leadership gets into government, we need to hold it accountable.
Yeah.
So that those things do not happen again. Yeah. Even if the broad-based partnership comes back in the next time, we need to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
What can we as citizens do? Before you answer that question, think about it. Yeah. Because I'm asking you now this as Baba ya Watoto, as a husband, I know your family. Yeah. How do we do this as citizens? We have a call on the line.
Right. Njoroge from Limuru is on the line. Wanted to changia kidogo. Good morning, Njoroge.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. What's your question or contribution for Senator Karungo?
Okay, great, my Senator Karungo Othaya. My question is, as we are fixing the nation, it is very sad what we are witnessing in terms of this insecurity attacking churches. So the question is, why can all DCP leaders and all those who are around the UDA or Kenya Kwanza government refrain from these inflammatory remarks? Like for DCP, why can't we refrain from this? Why can we refrain from these negative tribalism remarks, like this issue of schools?
Yeah.
Because it is passing emotion to the other communities. How can we refrain and preach peace in every part of the country?
Yeah.
Why can't we move forward as a single nation?
Okay.
As a united Kenya?
Thank you, Njoroge. Thanks. Thank you, Njoroge, and you're absolutely right. Why we're out of time, so maybe in just 1 minute, why can't politicians refrain from those inflammatory remarks? And then now Eric's.
Okay, thank you, Njoroge, and thank you very much. I'll continue serving you as your senator. Thank you very much for that question. That's a question somebody would ask, and of course, yes, it is out there, but we'll be running away from the reality because we speak about all these things. Yesterday when the attack happened, we have not even spoken. So you cannot say that it happened because you said something. And again, if somebody said something against you, there is defamation, the route that you can take to court, or you say, there's a rule of law. So you cannot say that you're coming with bullets because this somebody called me a cow, or this somebody said that you cannot work. So mine is to say that we're going to speak. Nobody is a tribalist, and Kenyans should know Kenyans are not tribalist at all. The only people who would be tribalist are those people who are given an opportunity to serve, but they give their tribes priority other than others. But for us, we represent people, and we are not tribal at all, just like any other normal Kenyan.
Thank you so much. That is Kiambu Senator, that is Karungo Thang'wa, speaking to us on worship, politics, and violence, unfortunately. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation NTV. In the next hour, we will be with MP for Mumias East, that is Peter Salasia, discussing Western politics. We'll be right back.